Well, welcome to New Year's Day, and we're actually having a huddle up. And if for any reason you need to leave while we're doing this, it's fine. It usually takes us 30 minutes to 45 minutes to complete the PowerPoint we do, and it's really done in a very friendly way. And I thank everyone that came tonight, and for those that couldn't attend it live, we'll have the recording available for you tomorrow. And Happy New Year's! So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, I want to share with sound. Yeah.
That'll help.
Yeah. So Dorothy, I was hoping you would start off because I loved this. You were the one who shared this in our room today.
I did too. When I found that, I thought this is perfect. Like the book in volumes 3, the past, the present, and yet to be. The past is written and laid away. The present we're writing every day. And the last and best of volumes 3 is locked from sight. God keeps the key. Happy New Year.
I like that.
That's beautiful. So nice.
That was great.
You know, I thought it was really cool that New Year's Day started on our the day we usually hold our weekly meeting. And I always like to know little things of when they happened. And I don't know if did anybody in here know all the little trivia about New Year's? I'm surprised at how old it is. 45 BC. We still celebrate something that started in 45 BC. New Year's Day, also called simply New Year's or New Year, is observed on January 1st, the first day of the year on the modern Gregorian calendar as well as the Julian calendar. In pre-Christian Rome, under the Julian calendar, the day was dedicated to Janus, god of gateways and beginnings, for whom January is also named. In 45 BC, New Year's Day is celebrated on January 1st for the first time in history as the Julian calendar takes effect. What is the first country to celebrate New Year's? And it is Samoa, is the first country to ring in 2019. The independent state of Samoa, formerly known as Western Samoa, is located south of the equator in the Polynesian region of the Pacific Ocean, about halfway between Hawaii and New Zealand. And why do we kiss on the stroke of midnight? New Year's Eve is the last hurrah of the year. It's the final event in a holiday binge of eating, drinking, and celebrating. It's a time to don glitzy outfits, reflect on the past, ponder future resolutions, and then there's the kiss at the stroke of midnight. In some Western cultures, it is a custom for people to kiss at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. Some hold the superstition that failing to kiss someone ensures a year of loneliness. And who made New Year's a national holiday? January 1st becomes New Year's Day. The early Roman calendar consisted of 10 months and 304 days, which each new year beginning at the vernal equinox according to tradition. It is created by Romulus, the founder of Rome in the 8th century BC. Now, what does that have to do with health? Nothing. But did anybody enjoy knowing that?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Very good, very good. So, Marcia, I'm going to go through our pictures, but not because we need to say any more about it, but I thought each of us might really want to talk about what all of this means to us on a personal level. And I started with you. You are my oldest, not oldest coach like in age, but you're the coach I've had the longest. Dorothy is second, Lisa is third. But I thought this might be a good opportunity for you to talk about Dick.
Well, the first picture was Dick in 2012. We are on a cruise ship in the Panama Canal. His bucket list was to see the Panama Canal. He could not get off at the port and stuff. He had to see it from the deck of the ship. And the reason we did this cruise was because he was told that he probably wouldn't survive the winter. I had gone on take shape, the 5 and 1, and I had gone from a size 20, 21 dress down to a 10. I lost over 50 some pounds, and he saw how well I was doing, and he said, when I get home, he said he would not go on it before the cruise because he saw how well I was doing, but he wouldn't go on it. And when we got home, he didn't say anything, and I called Connie, and I said, Connie, I don't think he's going to do the program. And she says, what do you mean? He's ordered his food. It should be coming this week. And he, you can see in 2000, I think this picture was taken in 2017, 18, no, 16. I'm not sure.
Which
but
one?
This was basically until he got sick this last time before he went to be with the Lord, was us. But this was me before I lost all the weight.
Wow.
Stuff and things. So, and from us doing this, my daughter, who decided to quit smoking, said she wanted to go on the program because she kept gaining weight every time she tried to quit smoking. So she'd start again. She quit smoking. She lost, what was it, Connie? 58 pounds?
Yeah, I was right at 60.
Okay, and she called me and she said, Mom, how would you like to be a grandmother again? And I thought she was talking about my other daughter who definitely did not want to. And I said, Missy's happy about this? She said, oh yeah, she's thrilled. And I said, she's thrilled, she's pregnant? And she said, Mom, I am. And my grandson will celebrate his 4th birthday, January 15th. And
That's our Take Shape for Life baby. We always talk about it.
yeah.
One story I'll share about Dick is when some people in here have heard it, but we used to hold a meeting here and every week. Now our meeting is here in cyberspace. But Marcia comes and she says, Dick's not coming tonight. And she was upset. And I said, Marcia, you're not his coach. Let him be. He'll be here if he wants to be. And I close the door. And as soon as I close the door and start talking, Dick comes walking in for the first time I've ever seen him without his wheelchair and without his oxygen. And that pretty much sealed the deal. The meeting was over with. But yeah, he got these extra years and we're grateful he did. And we all missed him very much. And he was such a part of our Tuesday nights. And I couldn't let this night go by without, sharing it with Marcia. Thank you, Marcia.
No
Miss Dorothy,
Yes.
you want to talk about yourself a little bit and what you've been able to accomplish with other people? And
Well, I ordered my food, and then my daughter had a surgery, and I had to take care of her. So I didn't use my food for a couple of months, and then I got on the program, and in 20 weeks I had lost my 40 pounds, and I kept it off mostly since then, and I just felt like it was something that I wanted to share because my husband had been a diabetic and had to take a lot of insulin shots, and I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to be sure to control my diabetes. So, and I have, and I take an medication for it. And it's been a real lifesaver for me. And I don't know what I would have done.
And you've helped other people.
Yes. And I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't been healthy when my husband passed away, because it does make a difference in how you look at things.
Yeah.
When you're healthy.
Actually, Dorothy said to me, I couldn't believe how strong she was going through this, but she was really delaying her grieving. But she took great pride that she was able to stand by Joe's coffin through his whole service. And she said she never would have been able to do that had she not gotten healthy. And that's always stuck with me, Dorothy, that meant so much to you.
I held his hand. I actually held his hand. Every time I was talking, I would touch his hand and say, they tried to bring him back, but I know he wouldn't have want to come back as a vegetable.
Yeah.
Oh.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah. All our lives are intertwined, just like they said. Lisa, did you make it?
I'm right in front of you.
Here.
There he is.
I've been here.
Well, I can't see everybody because I'm in my share mode. So, but I know you have a lot to say that you couldn't write, and I'll start. Lisa is my niece, and Lisa, when she got into her uniform again, and she was sharing that. After I listened to her share about being able to get back into her uniform, I said, "But that's not the real story, Lisa. because as being her aunt and loving her dearly and the whole family, we were concerned about Lisa for many years. Lisa attempted suicide 10 times and almost succeeded 3 of those times. So we were always trying to lift Lisa and to bring her back. When she got back from
Desert Storm.
Desert Storm, she over a period of a few years, she ended up without her husband, without her service. She was retired from the service with a medical discharge, and her children. So when she got back in that uniform and she was celebrating, I couldn't help but really say the success here is that she has her life back. She has her children back. And all of those years of suffering that she went to really was needless because all she was lacking was nutrition. And I'll let you go ahead, Lisa.
Ain't that the truth? That's why what Mommy just shared, that's why I shared my story. And as we went through the 30 days of hope, towards the end, we all shared each other's story. And I don't know who got to read mine, but mine, I started it with, today I share my story. Today I choose to share my struggle with bipolar disorder. And I did that because I didn't look up the statistic, but I know a while ago it was 1 in 5 people suffer with a diagnosable mental health issue. And if everybody else is like me, they threw pills at me. And as I shared in my story, not one doctor in all those 20 years asked me what I was eating, to the point where when I started on this program and within 3 days, I felt such a profound difference. I told Aunt Connie, I was like, wow. I was like, I was really angry as everything that happened in the past 20 some years flashed before my eyes. And I was like, how much of this is because of lack of proper nutrition versus a devastating mental health diagnosis? So that's why I chose to share my story. And she's already shared about the losses and my picture. This was, I have so many pictures, y'all. It was hard for me to come up with pictures to do in my story. But in the end, I came up with, in the top left, that's me with my daughter in 1989. She was a year old. And to the far right is me this Veterans Day. Pretty much the same size in the same uniform. People even told me my uniform looked like it was too big. And in the middle that's a picture of me at my top weight of 285 pounds.
Oh my God.
Marcia commented, she's like, that is so not you. No, I can't believe it.
True.
Oh.
I thank you, Lisa, and I'm so proud of you, honey.
Well, thank you.
And I'll start with me. My younger sister is the one who exposed me. It's funny how it's always someone you saw or someone you knew. And she doesn't realize by what she did with me impacted so many other people and everyone that's in this room. And I just will always and forever be grateful to my coach, Kay Brownlee. And she is always there for me, for Dorothy, for Lisa, for Marcia, for anybody. And the same is true of each of us. And so as you're in this room and you're trying to get that healthy life, don't hesitate to turn to any of us, because we're all there, and that's what we love to do. We love to help other people. So tonight we're going to cover really what we covered last week about creating the habits of health, not restriction. And I came up with what are the habits of health that over the last 8 years that have crept into my life and become natural for me. And the one that I use the most is stop, challenge, and choose. That's probably true of a lot of people in here. But go ahead. Okay, so the healthy habits that are now part of my life and probably part of most people who are in here right now, the eating the small frequent meals. And of course that helps your body balance the blood sugars all day long, and it helps you keep your metabolism going all day long, and eating that 30 minutes after you get up in the morning, your body has had nothing to eat all day. So that's certainly a habit of health. And drinking the water that you get daily. There's many people when they get in this program, they never were drinking water. They were drinking sodas and other things, tea and
That's
coffee.
me.
But yes, but a lot of people had not made water a part of their daily intake. And then exercise, obviously exercise is important. I shared when I read one time that exercise should be like brushing your teeth, but we don't really think about that, but we do brush our teeth every day. And then that recuperative sleep that we get, they say 9 hours for men, 7 hours for women. And meditating daily, that's something that is only catching on recently. But they say meditation for the brain is what exercise is for the body. Annual checkups, I mean, I don't know how many times it saves lives. And I don't know how many times when somebody hasn't been getting their annual checkups that it's turned out to be a very bad choice on their parts. And planning your meals. Dorothy is big on planning meals. I'll let you cover that one, Dorothy.
I haven't been doing very good this last week.
And packing healthy snacks so you don't get out in town and don't have something with you, and then what are you going to do? You're going to turn to what's available. Progress and not perfection. We beat up on ourselves too much. Something happens and we drift, and instead of getting right back on the program, we tend to say, oh, well, I shot this day. I'll go ahead and I'll start again tomorrow. Well, you don't want to really do that. You want to look at it as treating yourself and get right back onto the program, not like cheating. Calories from nutrition. When you're putting something in your mouth, is it going to nourish your body, or is it a habit of disease, something that's going to rob you of your health? Pairing protein with carbohydrates. That's something we all overlook that is so important. And then what you track, you manage, tracking your calories and your exercise. Journaling, keeping track of what goes in your mouth, how often you do your water, how much sleep do you get. All of those things matter, and when you pay attention to it, then you manage it. And then making healthier choices, baby steps. All of these things didn't happen in even a year. They have happened over the years. And creating that healthy macro environment inside your house, getting rid of the things that are temptations that aren't good for you. And if other people in your house want them, then just put them in a place where you're not going to have to be exposed to them all the time. And then recognizing your triggers, what it is that sets you off when you start eating when you otherwise would not have. Recognizing those triggers, you can prepare for them. And the structural tension chart, I'll let you address that one, Lisa. You're very good. You understand the value of it. That's why you're where you're at today.
Absolutely. So I saw this coming, so I have mine right here.
You can't see it. I can't anyway.
This is my structural tension chart I made at the beginning of this year. Let's see if I can hold this still. You can see it. That's where I began, and that's where I wanted to end up. And I'll just share with you. So at the beginning of the year, I weighed 174.4 pounds. BMI of my glasses 29, and my waist was 40 inches. And I decided at the end of the year I wanted to be 140. I wanted a BMI of 23 and a waist circumference of 36. And all year long I worked on this. I fine-tuned those habits of health, and guess what? I weigh 141 pounds. My BMI is 22.7, which is less than what I wanted. And my waist is no longer 40, it's 32.
Wow.
For 36.
But you wouldn't go across country on a trip without a map. And that's what your structural tension chart is. And you need to see where it is that you want to be to get there. And if you don't get there as quickly as you want to, as Lisa's been on the journey too. She's had other structural tension charts. But each time you do one, it becomes a little more impactful. And then on that structural tension chart, you also have your secondary choices. So important to do a structural tension chart.
I wasn't finished yet, but so I already have a new one. I haven't written it down, but my new one is next year to weigh the same thing, weigh same thing I weigh now because maintenance. I took and I created a thing for my measurements, which by the way, I lost over 38 inches this year. So I have a way to track my measurements. Measure for success, people.
Yeah.
And my plan, to keep to my plan, I made a graph of my weight every week for the year. And as you can, I don't know if you can see this. This is keep it off. Year 1. So
right.
you have to have a plan. And I've known about, we've all heard and learned about the structural tension chart in here, but I never took this, just like goals or anything else, never took the time to write it down. But this one's all wrinkled up and this is an old one, but it has my measurements. I'm just saying, whatever you want to accomplish, even if, whatever. I have a structural tension chart this year for being more connected with my children and my niece and my nephews. And when you have it written down and you have action steps, then you'll be more likely to take the steps.
Follow through.
Lost. Don't get
Totally believe in structural tension charts for anything that you're trying to do. And then, like she said about measuring yourself and weighing yourself, when you have reached your goal, you weigh yourself frequently. When you're working towards your goal, you weigh yourself once a week. The reason there's a difference there is when you've reached your goal, you want to catch yourself before you put too many pounds on. So the more frequently you weigh, the more likely it is you'll catch that before it becomes a big problem. The reason they don't want you to weigh more than once a week while you're moving towards your goal is because it can discourage you. A scale is not always accurate because we have fluids in our body that deviate, and that's why measuring yourself is so important. These are all habits of health. These are all steps you can take that will these are secondary choices that will get you to where you want to be. And setting the SMART goals. We all know what the SMART goals are, but it's not enough to just think you're going to do them. You have to write them down. And I can't stress enough about focusing on what you want as opposed to not, I don't want to be this weight next year. You want to say, I want to be that weight next year. And of course, skipping the dessert is a little thing you could do. Parking further out, take the stairs instead of the elevator. These are all habits that's going to move us closer to what we want and help us get to where we want to be. Whether we're perfect or not, it's not going to happen, but we can always progress and move closer to it. Health is a relationship between you and your body. Questions to ask yourself daily. Is my health improving every day? If you get to the end of the day and you can't answer that question, yes, you might want to rethink what your next day is. And are my daily habits creating health and vibrancy, or are they draining my battery and taking me further down the path towards disease? That might make you rethink what happens on the following day, or you might pat yourself on the back. And I think the more you ask yourself this question, the more it's going to ingrain in you the personal responsibility that you could take to change your outcome. And am I already in a state of non-sickness? So you don't have to be sick and dying to be sick. You could be already in a state of non-sickness, moving towards sickness. And Dr. Anderson loves to say that it's the non-sickness he really likes because you can move away from that very quick back to a state of health. What does optimal health look like to you? Imagine living your life to its fullest potential. So optimal health, to me, it is eating healthy. It is supplementing myself with vitamins. Our food has the supplements in it, but if you're not taking that multiple vitamin every day, you really ought to think about that. And of course, the healthier you eat, the better you're going to be. Being a healthy weight and a normal weight size is very important. And there are those in here that are there. And having an active lifestyle, a daily activity program, which can include walking. You definitely need, especially the older you get, the strength conditioning, the flexibility, the agility, the balance, and then the mental acuity. As you're doing these things to keep yourself in physical condition, you're actually also keeping your mind active. Recuperative sleep. Don't shortchange your sleep. Relaxation. Create times where you can relax. That micro environment of health. Well-being includes social activities. Limiting stress a sense of purpose and meaning, spiritual health, personal fulfillment, and the support system that we all enjoy. These are the things that you can do to create optimal health in your life. And if these become what you're moving towards, you're obviously going to move away from the things that are holding you back.
That's my life today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like Lisa.
Yeah, I did this. I guess, Dorothy, it being New Year's Day, I was really turned on to what I wanted this year to look like. And it's all showing up in this PowerPoint tonight. Use your body to heal your mind. Your body actually rebuilds itself over the course of the year. But if we're constantly not supporting it, we obviously aren't getting the most bang for our buck. But as we move ourselves to a healthier state and we're working with our body and not against it, we're going to get the benefit of this rebuilding that it does on itself. Now we're supporting it as opposed to depriving it. This is a little short video, and we all know a lot of this. Let me see if I can, yeah, where is it? Right here.
Oh my goodness.
Thought about Lisa today.
If you sucked all of the moisture out of your brain and broke it down to its constituent nutritional content, what would it look like? Most of the weight of your dehydrated brain would come from fats, also known as lipids. In the remaining brain matter, you would find proteins and amino acids, traces of micronutrients, and glucose. The brain is, of course, more than just the sum of its nutritional parts, but each component does have a distinct impact on functioning, development, mood, and energy. So that post-lunch apathy or late-night alertness you might be feeling, well, that could simply be the effects of food on your brain. Of the fats in your brain, the superstars are omegas 3 and 6. These essential fatty acids, which have been linked to preventing degenerative brain conditions, must come from our diets. So eating omega-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and fatty fish is crucial to the creation and maintenance of cell membranes. And while omegas are good fats for your brain, long-term consumption of other fats, like trans and saturated fats, may compromise brain health. Meanwhile, proteins and amino acids, the building block nutrients of growth and development, manipulate how we feel and behave. Amino acids contain the precursors to neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that carry signals between neurons, affecting things like mood, sleep, attentiveness, and weight. They're one of the reasons we might feel calm after eating a large plate of pasta, or more alert after a protein-rich meal. The complex combinations of compounds in food can stimulate brain cells to release mood-altering norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. But getting to your brain cells is tricky, and amino acids have to compete for limited access. A diet with a range of foods helps maintain a balanced combination of brain messengers and keeps your mood from getting skewed in one direction or the other. Like the other organs in our bodies, our brains also benefit from a steady supply of micronutrients. Antioxidants in fruits and vegetables strengthen the brain to fight off free radicals that destroy brain cells, enabling your brain to work well for a longer period of time. And without powerful micronutrients like the vitamins B6, B12, and folic acid, our brains would be susceptible to brain disease and mental decline. Trace amounts of the minerals iron, copper, zinc, and sodium are also fundamental to brain health and early cognitive development. In order for the brain to efficiently transform and synthesize these valuable nutrients, it needs fuel, and lots of it. While the human brain only makes up about 2% of our body weight, it uses up to 20% of our energy resources. Most of this energy comes from carbohydrates that our body digests into glucose or blood sugar. The frontal lobes are so sensitive to drops in glucose, in fact, that a change in mental function is one of the primary signals of nutrient deficiency. Assuming that we are getting glucose regularly, how does the specific type of carbohydrates we eat affect our brains? Carbs come in 3 forms: starch, sugar, and fiber. While on most nutrition labels, they are all lumped into one total carb count, the ratio of the sugar and fiber subgroups to the whole amount affect how the body and brain respond. A high glycemic food, like white bread, causes a rapid release of glucose into the blood, and then comes the dip. Blood sugar shoots down, and with it, our attention span and mood. On the other hand, oats, grains, and legumes have slower glucose release, enabling a steadier level of attentiveness. For sustained brain power, opting for a varied diet of nutrient-rich foods is critical. When it comes to what you bite, chew, and swallow, your choices have a direct and long-lasting effect on the most powerful organ in your body.
We all know that, don't we?
That was phenomenal.
I know, because we don't really think about the impact things are having on our brain and in terms of what we're putting in our mouth, and it really does.
And the
So-
stuff they had me putting in my mouth because I wasn't putting proper food in my mouth.
I know, I thought about you today and with that, and I thought about Dorothy today because she explains that blood sugar all the time, and they did it perfect. And so when we're putting things in our mouth or in our bodies, we're not just, making our body unhealthy, we're also making our mind unhealthy. And yeah, I see that, Tony, your brain.
Yeah, this was left here by a person that's with us today.
Mm-hmm.
It belongs to her. She said, let me have it so I can read everything about my brain.
Thank you, Martha. Yeah. And so I wanted us to start the new year off knowing how important it is to live a healthier life, not just so we have a longer life and can do more, but also so that we keep our brain working at its highest function, because it's through our brain that we're able to keep everything else at the level that we want it to be. I mean, we are our brain, and our moods are our brain. And on the 5-in-1, we do take an omega-3 daily. So the multivitamins, for anyone that's not on the 5-in-1, because all of our vitamins are in our food. Our food is low glycemic. Our food is portion controlled. We also have an infuser that has resveratrol, which is the chemical that's in wine that's so good for you. That's another way you can nourish your body, by using those infusers. And I don't know, just overall taking care of your body. We are the keeper of it, and what goes in it is, we wouldn't do to our car what we do to our body. And that should be enough to motivate us to take better care of our body. January 1st, new year, new us, right? So your body's ability to heal is greater than anyone has permitted you to believe. I don't think we hear enough about that, because people want us to do the fast food, do the, it's just an unhealthy environment that we live in. Dr. A likes to say it's not our fault. And it really isn't our fault, because it's everywhere and we're surrounded by poor nutrition. So it's our chance this year to take better care of ourselves, because we know we should. My reason for wanting to become healthier is because I really feel like that I really should never have let get myself in a state of unhealthy. However, I'm like everyone else, and I didn't pay attention to it when I should. And my takeaway tonight is, it is in my hands. It is my responsibility, and I can do something about it, and I'm going to. And I'm going to pass to Dorothy.
Well, my reason to become healthier is my age. I mean, I want to be around a while. And I want to see my grandchild grow up. My youngest grandchild is only 4, and I'd like to see him grow up. And I'd like to be independent. And my takeaway tonight, I really did like the TED Talk. I thought that was really good information, and I enjoyed that. Yeah. And I will say, Lisa.
I just had a brain thing. What my reason for wanting to become healthier is pretty much mirrors Dorothy. But at the top of my list is I want to be independent and self-sufficient for as long as humanly possible. After watching my mom how having to be taken care of affected her. I don't want that for myself. So when I'm feeling like I don't want to do something or I want to eat something bad, I remember that. And so I want to be self-sufficient. And of course, I also want to be there for my grandchildren. I'm not done with grandchildren yet, but my youngest one is 2. My takeaway tonight is, again, this is a theme with me. I've come a long way, but you're always learning, always learning. And it was after doing this for more than a minute, it was nice when she had the picture of optimal health to sit there and read it and be like, yeah, I'm in optimal health. So now my task is to keep it here. And I think I'm in the right place amongst friends and the support we have here. We'll pass it to Poppy.
Oh, me?
Yes, Poppy.
My reason to want to become healthy is I wanted to live to 111. That's my goal. That way I could aggravate a lot of people.
And you
The older you get, the more you aggravate people because you're old. But I'm not old. I like to tell people I'm not old. I've just been here a long time. My takeaway tonight is, Ted was great. I really like that. I got this book that was left here by Marsh. And when she was here, Your Brain, and I've been reading it. And, it says the art, magic, and science of what makes you. The brain makes us who we are. And I've been reading it, and this was great. When I saw that on TED, it really, really brought it to mind. So,
Thank you.
I'm going to pass that to Marsha, Bird Lady.
Did
Okay.
Martha leave us?
All right. My reason for wanting to become healthier is also because as I'm getting older, I want to try to remain as healthy as I possibly can until the very end. Like Lisa, I don't want anybody to have to take care of me, and I just want a natural ending when it happens. My takeaway tonight is how your brain really, how the food affects it. That's really, I really had no idea before I started the program how the effect was on the brain. So it's pretty incredible. I'd like to pass it to Martha.
Me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. My reason for wanting to get healthy is so that I can help others, which is what I do with my life most of the time. And I'm finding that the better I feel, the better I'm able to give to the ones I love and around, and encourage them to become better too. But all of you are really, really helping me so much to stay on track and to not judge myself so badly and say, okay, well, that was yesterday, today's a new one. And I'm really very, very pleased with our association and our friendship and our love. Thank you.
And thank you.
It's great.
Why don't you stop sharing your screen so we can see people when they're talking?
Okay, your takeaway today, Martha?
Oh, my takeaway is to keep remembering about the brain is what you're feeding that makes the rest of the body feel good.
Thank you.
Very nicely said.
Yeah.
Nicely said.
And you're passing to?
Martha.
Let's see.
We're saving you for last, Ruth Hannah.
That's great. It's going to take me that long to come up with something.
Let's see. What's the question? On my mind, I'm sorry.
My reason for getting healthy, for wanting to become healthier is?
I knew what it was to be at the top of my health and stuff. And the last year has been hard, and it has taken a big toll on my health. And I have gone back. I've only been really back on trying to regain my optimal health for me at this time. And it's been just I started Sunday night. I was going to eat something, and I said, you know what? It's like if I don't start now, I'm going to put it off. And so I started, and my blood sugar has only gone over 200 once. since Sunday night, and it was running anywhere from 250 to 300 and something. I think today I have had the best outlook on the future than I have had for over a year.
Wow.
Feeding your brain better.
I am. I'm drinking. I'm not eating a lot of protein, and so I have been drinking 2 protein drinks a day, and I put them in my cappuccino coffee from Optavia. And actually, I used to love my coffee. It had to be steaming hot, and I have now been drinking iced coffee, and it really is very refreshing. And I am. My future is for my outlook for this next. Hopefully within 6 months, I would like to be back to my optimal weight.
And your takeaway today?
The thing on the brain was just, I mean, I knew that stuff from nursing, but it just made it so clear and stuff. And I think that was super.
Cool.
So,
And you're going to pass to Ruth Hannah?
yes.
There you go, Ruth Hannah.
All right, so I am here because I am living a healthy, active life full of strength and softness and structure. I am motivated by wanting to stay healthy and active to be able to care for my husband and my family, which is a really small family. I don't have any children. And my takeaway for today was actually the graphic on the carbohydrates being starch, sugar, and fiber. I found that really impactful. And on the labels, I love to read labels, and I see the sugars and I see the fiber, and I never did the math on, okay, well, what's the rest? And the rest is starch, and I love that. So I definitely learned something today from that infographic, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate everybody coming. What'd you say, Tony?
Huh?
No, I said I'm good. It's good to meet you.
That's having you with us.
Yes.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure.
Ooh.
I don't know if anyone, let me see if I can get there real quick, but I was really impacted by
On my new vision board.
yeah, let me see. In the in my post this morning, let me see there, where we talked about if someone is told over and over again they are a failure, they could become one. Someone plants a seed that you are worthless and you begin to feel worthless. The person being told they are stupid, useless, a failure, or any other derogatory thing will feel they are stupid, useless, and a failure long before they actually are. So I found that that stuck with me. Failure is first a feeling long before it becomes a result. And I enjoyed when I heard that, and it just rang so true with me that I couldn't help but share it today, because so many of us get hung up on how we feel, and we forget about how much power we have over what we do.
Right.
So I'll close tonight's meeting, and we'll see you guys in the Huddle Up.
I need to talk to you.
You want me to stay? You want me to stay in?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good night, Dorothy. I'm glad you're
everybody.
here.
Good night.
Martha, come back and see us.
Good night, Ruth Ann. We're so happy you joined us.
Yes, Martha, you got to come up and see us.
The Ohio.
I have a rule.
You might want to stop recording.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Good night, all.